That was her wish.
Can the committee make recommendation to the board for the vote?
I would like to have just the full board.
She was my aunt, and that would have been her preference.
That would make more sense to me.
I got the due date is the 15th, so what I would, we may not have the May board meeting before, so maybe I need to make the due date April 1st. That way we can do it maybe at the April board meeting, because the May board meeting sometimes may fall after graduation. Jim, does that happen on occasion?
I'm sorry.
Does the May board meeting ever fall after graduation?
It could.
I think it can.
It could.
So maybe if we change that due date to April 1st, would that be okay? We still have time. Is that what they about are? That way we can do it then.
Roughly.
We could do it at the April board meeting that way, and we wouldn't.
Mark, how does the full board select the person during the board meeting?
I'm not sure.
That's what I'm.
You might want a committee to screen it down to 3 and then vote at a board meeting on 3 or something. I don't know.
We don't necessarily have to have names, do we?
I could, sure, we could do that too.
Because if it's based on financial need and scholarship, that's all we need to know.
You get a packet, before the board meeting, I can read through, or all of us can read through, and then we can put our selection. I think that would be the best way to do it.
So is this
It's a
the
lot
only
of-
information that we're going to get back? Is what's here?
Unless we can add.
We can add, you can add, or.
This is a starting point.
This
Yeah,
is
this is where Mark's
open
just
for your
getting-
discussion.
Okay. Because it doesn't talk about what they intend to do. That might be kind
Well, kind
Where
of
they're going?
B
Like
kind
school
of
life?
does.
Well, not even so much where is what is their intent, what do they hope to accomplish in going to school.
You want to change B? You want to change B?
No,
Add to that?
no, it's just, it's so vague, they could say, well, I want to go to school and get a good job.
Then they don't get selected.
You better be a little more detailed for me to say.
I think they know that. From right now.
Yeah.
That was my honest thought.
How many applications for scholarship letters?
Well, I guess 10 to 15 maybe, Jim, applications for this, do you think?
Maybe.
That's
Maybe not that many.
Maybe
I
not.
mean, it just depends.
Like I get about 7 to 14.
I'll probably just send them to you. As soon as I get them, I'll run them off and send them to you.
I don't like the ABC.
I don't like the
names of the
names.
students on them too.
We can have the names and do ABC for me.
I'd say it makes no difference to me. This is my preference of not wanting to know, and they just don't want to hear why you want. I don't want to know who the
I think it would be
individual is.
impossible for me to judge something if I didn't know who I was judging.
I would say most scholarships have names.
Yeah.
Okay.
All scholarships have names.
You kind of need to come to a consensus.
Yeah, I'm gonna bow out of this one.
I mean, I think if you just put letters there, it'd be, how could you judge? It's a small community, we know who the people are. I think we need to name the person.
Is that on most scholarships, our Jim? Have a name, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at the
And you're gonna have class ranks
O'Brien
in there.
one.
But are a lot of
Whatever
scholarships
one.
based on, like, what did this one say, your financial needs?
Some are.
Some are?
Some are. Some depend on what field that they're going to go into study.
Oh, okay.
So, I
Yeah, some of
mean,
them like
it depends on the scholarship.
It's like all your
Right.
financial needs scholarships.
Jeez. Hang on, I don't want names.
I agree with John. We got it.
Great.
I will give my 2 cents in. Well, when the county board was going through the Keno applications for the people that applied for the Keno applications, I gave them some advice, and the advice was to have them look at a committee, because, I mean, there were some in there that, in open session, you don't want to say, well, that project's a joke. I know that person, and there's no way they're going to do it. And if you have a little committee look at them first, they could wean that so they don't have the pressure of open session saying, I think the Legion and Exeter is falling to shit. We shouldn't give them any money. So that then when they have, you know, the 3 that come to you, you know, they actually would, the people that they suggested to give the money to would actually come to the meeting, had no problem with the Nebraska Signal sitting there saying, you know, we're applying for a kitchenette, something like that. So just, you know, I'm not saying that you guys would do that, but in open session, you know, you might throw a kid out or, you know, that's just, FYI, could really be an awkward.
I think you can do both. Depends on how many you have. I think if we might, you know, if we have 3 or 4 flights on it.
I think you can give the names to us and then assign them a ABC, and then
Discuss
in the
it.
packet,
Meeting is an ABC.
and discuss the meeting as an ABC. And possibly, and so we don't screw up and say a name, possibly, I know it'd be more paperwork, but, I mean, you could re-hand out the applications that we used to discuss that night, and that, at that time, it only has A, B, and C, and you know, I don't
As long as
know,
I
I'm
know
just
who
throwing
it is,
something out.
that's fine.
What's that?
As long as I know who it is, I don't have any objection to that. And doing it anonymously that night, but then we need the names ahead of time.
The one thing is, I know when I get the scholarships applications, they do have a class rank with them, and so that would be another way of identifying them, if they put it down right, correct.
But
But I still
we
think
can
we
also
need
give you a sheet with the class ranks if we wanted to. We normally keep that fairly private.
Well, you
so
give
we
it
don't
to, you do give it to
Yeah.
the scholarship.
Right. We don't just hand it out to you.
No, I understand, I'm saying to the scholarship,
Yeah.
You're 45 out of 50.
strike it, no. I guess mine would suggest is we do it, we have the names, and then we talk about it at the meeting with maybe.
Talk about it with a letter, but the board
Yes.
knows their names. How does everybody feel about that?
I think that's, put ABC on
My guys, we got consensus.
Thank you, Greg.
Well, it's just, I mean, it's easy enough
Open
to
meeting for all you.
have 3 good
Yeah.
ones you talk about, if you talk about the eliminating ones.
And something else, should everybody come with their top 3 or something ahead of time, so it's not a
Oh, yeah.
3-hour
That would be
process?
good.
Yeah, that's
That would be
excellent.
really good. I could see this lasting a long time.
And maybe we bring our top 3,
Well, we could also go into executive session. If you're talking about
True.
students and personnel, I would think you could go into executive session too if you wanted to. I mean, I understand the privacy, and they have the right of privacy, students also in this particular situation, discussing their grade. But I think
Whether
we
we
could
go-
handle it in open
yeah.
session if we just be careful.
whether we go in or out, I think everyone should maybe try to have their top 3, and then somehow tabulate them, so if everyone's got, their top 1 is the same as T, as an example, and we don't have to spend a lot of time with it.
I guess I have a question. Is it something that a lot of school boards do? Is it something, I don't think it's ever been done before?
I would say not
We're
many.
We're not putting
schools.
ourselves in any jeopardy. And I know that's what you wish, but I mean, we don't wanna.
We either do it this way or we don't get it.
It was her wish, and we can do it. We're
Well, I
adults,
just
we
wanna
should
make
be able
sure
to
we
handle
didn't
it.
wanna-
Yeah, we're not, I don't think there's any legal jeopardy
Cause
whatsoever.
any further problems down the road.
No.
Since Sherry related, she gets sued if somebody's
Well, that's why I don't want names. Because if my nephew comes up and he's on one, I don't want to know why.
Well, I mean, that's another idea, if I have a kid on there, I probably should abstain anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my suggestion was gonna be that the curriculum, maybe the curriculum committee, they don't meet a lot, they could reduce it down to 3, and then the full board just had to work at 3, but I think this will work. I think this will work.
What do you think, Chris?
We'll make it work.
I think it'll look
Okay.
good.
Yep.
Let's go on to D, social media policy.
Well, this was actually written by the law firm of the lady that'll be here Friday, speaking to our staff. But we felt like since, we were using the laptops and our teachers have the laptops, we need some policy that governs basically with social media, with Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, MySpace. We need maybe some guidelines for not only students, but staff, administrators, what they can use it for, what they should use it for. we did tweak it a little bit from what we got, and then we sent it back, and the lawyers approved our changes. But again, policy is the board's work, so we're presenting this to you for discussion, and any changes, additions, or whatever, or if you don't think we need it, you don't have to put it on the agenda next month, I guess.
I get to roll early. I have a lot of
Hey,
teachers.
Mark, I have a question. On that second bullet point down there,
Okay.
communicating with students, the word personal, well, no, I think it's personal, but that word can mean a lot of different things. I mean, talking to a kid about where they're going to college is a personal matter.
Right. But, you know, it's hard to
Is that where
define
that's in
everything. That would be,
I mean,
the
is it-
situation's different, so you can certainly talk to them about.
But does the sentence read the same if that word isn't in there? Just a observation on that, one word.
And what would the E word in the last sentence mean in English?
What do you mean?
I have no idea. I don't even know.
Where you at?
Joking with-
The first word in the last sentence.
Or down.
I've never heard that before. That's maybe because I'm ignorant.
Joking?
No, right below joking.
Oh, double.
I have no idea.
Entendre?
I'm sure that's legal speak, probably.
Double entendre means we have two possible meanings.
Yeah, thanks for helping. Way to jump up after the show. Good job.
Give him the second meaning now, don't you?
Just a second, let me Google that
That's
quick.
your blessing.
I think it's a good idea to have a
I think
policy.
we have to.
So I think if we need somebody to say we should vote on this, I think we should. There's a lot of teachers getting fired,
Yes.
texting us and things like that. This just covers the employees that is what this policy.
We have policies for students, so.
Yeah, probably. Apple thing.
Questions? Anyone? Want to put it on the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, go to the agenda, sir.
So we'll look over and see anything else that we might want. I guess it's already been approved, but what if we just, we have an option?
Okay, assessment policy?
We have an assessment policy in your board policy. Oh, it already needs change because of new assessments. This one actually comes from the state, I think, Mark, right? So I guess what we'd like to do is to eliminate the policy that's in board policy, put this one in our district-wide handbook that the board approves every summer. That way, as we do changes, rather than have to go in and change board policy, we can just change it in our handbook, show you the changes that were made, and then you approve or disapprove of it during the summer. So just a little bit easier way for us to do it. This is a new one, but it's a little bit different than the old one in the board policy book, but it's the one recommended again by the state, and it's the changes because we're doing the statewide assessments now. But this one, our staff would actually assign a date and everything and turn one copy in to know that they agreed to do follow the assessment policy, whereas the one in the board policy manual, of course, they don't even see most of the time.
Yes on that one. Okay, next is student discipline. That this regular meeting of February 14, 2011 be adjourned to executive.
Can we have a 5-minute recess?
Okay.
Drink way too much water.
We'll take a 5-minute recess before we go to executive session.